Not 1 minute. 1 second. Few seconds. Yep, we are we are online. Now we are live.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Hare Krishna. This is Nandaprya Das again, and we continue reading Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is. This time, chapter 17, called The Divisions of Faith. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. As the name tells us, the visions of faith, Krishna, on the request of Arjuna, talks about different types of faith. As we will hear in this chapter, faith is one. Faith is just one, pure, transcendental, sattvic faith in the Supreme. But when this faith comes in contact with the material nature, then it can become of different kinds because of the association of the modes of nature. This chapter is kind of, you can say, echoing chapter 14th, where Krishna talks about three modes of nature, because in this chapter he will also talk about other things, not about only faith, but like austerity, sacrifice, charity, and things like that, performed in different modes of nature. And this chapter starts with the question of Arjuna. Arjuna Vacha, Yashastra Vithimutsrija, Yajante Shatayanvita, Te Shamnishtatu Ta Krishna, Satvam Aho Rajastama. Arjuna inquired, O Krishna, what is the situation of those who do not follow the principles of scripture, but worship according to their own imagination? Are they in goodness, in passion, or in ignorance? In other words, the right thing to do is to worship follow the principles of the scriptures, and worship accordingly. In this, well, Krishna talks about the Vedic scriptures, of course. Sorry to say that. He doesn't talk about the religions of other kinds. He talks about Vedic literature, Vedic scriptures, which are the base of our Varnashrama society. So these are what you call principles of Aryans. Aryans has nothing to do with what Germans, Nazis were propagating. Aryan civilization is one based on spiritual realization. So any civilization which is based on the light, spiritual enlightenment, and guided by Vedic scriptures, is the Aryan civilization. It's not about which nationality, ethnicity you belong to. It has nothing to do with this. This is what is your conviction, what is your conception of life. Anyway, if those people who do not worship do not follow the rules and the principles of Vedic scriptures, and instead they do some worship according to their own imagination, what kind of people are they? Or in other words, which faith do they belong to? Which quality of it? Sattva, or goodness, passion, or ignorance? Krishna answers, Shri Bhagavan Uvacha, Trivitha Bhavati Shatha Tehinam Swasvapavaja Sattviki Rajasi Chaiva Tamasi Chetitam Shrinu. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, according to the modes of nature acquired by the embodied soul, one's faith can be of three kinds, in goodness, in passion, or in ignorance. Now hear about this. Yes, a pure living entity has pure faith in the Supreme and devotion and so on. But in contact with material nature, then he acquires different faiths, which is three qualities: the passion, the goodness, passion, and ignorance. Well, this is very simplistic in a sense to say that there is only three types, because many times we see the combination of things. There is no pure goodness, there is no pure passion, there is no pure ignorance. But if like predominantly it's in passion or in goodness or in ignorance, then you can call it this is in that particular mode. So in that sense, you can say there are three types of it. And Krishna further says, Sattvanurupa sarvasya shatha bhavati partha shatha mayoyam purusho yachat yat yoyat chatha sa vasaham. A son of Bharata, according to one's existence under the various modes of nature, one evolves a particular kind of faith. The living being is said to be of a particular faith according to the modes he has acquired. Well, it's quite clear, isn't it? Faith doesn't mean a religious faith, actually. It means like how you see life. What is your priority in life, basically? What direction you follow in your life? Do you want to go in the way of goodness by developing knowledge and enlightenment and or elevation? Do we want to just be greedy and gain as much as possible to your own self? Um, be like fruitive, be egoistic and self-centered, and work a lot to gain material gain, and so on? Or do you want to be inactive, dull, lazy, being darkness, in other words, being mode of ignorance? So it doesn't mean necessarily that you are like doing some kind of religious rituals or following some certain type of religion necessarily. Um, and it develops according to what kind of uh, associations we have in this life. If you associate with people who are in lower modes of nature, you will develop the mentality of them. Um, you will become either very fruitive, or greedy, passionate, lusty, or you become dull, or you may become purified and elevated. That's why it says by Kapila Muni says that Tamodvaram Mahor Tamodvaram Mahor Vimuktes. No, no. Oh my God. In other words, associating with devotees opens the way to the spiritual world. While if you associate with those who are um, lusty and attached to money and women and so on, so you become the, then the door to hell will wide open. So it's up to you. So that's why you should not associate with the materialistic people, because you will become contaminated by their mentality, and you will become one of them. But if you associate with devotees, satam prasanga mama virya samvido, it means that you have to associate with satam. Satam means devotees uh, who are following the way of truth, basically, or following the way of devotion to God. So then you can become like them. So uh, birds of feather flock together. In other words, whatever you connection you have to who you have with, you will develop the corresponding qualities. So that's why we need to be very careful to associate with the right people. The right people are transcendentalists, devotees of God. Now, yajanti sattvika devan yaksha raksham sirajasa pretan putaganamschanye yajante tamasajana. Men in the mode of goodness worship the demigods. Those in the mode of passion worship the demons. And those in the mode of ignorance worship ghosts and spirits. Well, so in those who are in the material goodness, they worship the demigods. They want to because demigods are very, very nice living entities, very elevated, very knowledgeable, very pure. They always follow, they always meditate on Lord Vishnu's lotus feet. So those who are in the mode of goodness, material goodness, they will worship demigods. Usually they want something in return. They want maybe some talent, some beauty, some money, some this and that, popularity, whatever. So, for example, if you want to be very knowledgeable, you may worship Mother Saraswati. Saraswati is so nice and she can give you abilities to be very knowledgeable, talented, um, and so on and so forth. So Lord Shiva is very kind and very easily satisfied. He can give you money and so on. But yes, in other words, men in the material goodness, they will worship demigods. Uh, but men in pure goodness will worship Vasudev, Satam Vishuddham Vasudeva Shabditam. When a man is situated in pure goodness, he worships Vasudeva, Krishna. So, but we are not talking about pure goodness here. But those who are in the passion, they worship the demons. They like the demons. They like those who, earn money, have power, have might, have influence in the world. Those who are usually powerful people. Men in passion, they want to worship them. But men in ignorance, in the mode of ignorance, they will worship ghosts and spirits. They are so low, they don't know anything else. Yes. Ashastra vihitam koram tapyante yetapujanaha tamha hankara samyukta kamaraga balanvita tan karshayanta sharirastham bhuta gramam achedasa mam chaivanta sharirastham tanvithi asura nishchayan. Those who undergo severe austerities and penances not recommended in the scriptures, performing them out of pride and egoism, who are impelled by lust and attachment, who are foolish, and those who torture the material elements of the body, as well as the supersoul dwelling within, are to be known as demons. So the demons are basically those who do things against scriptures. Scripture says one thing, then demons will do the opposite. So, some demons are really austere and they perform penances. A lot of them, even more than devotees do, but they do it against the scriptural injunctions. And they do it because they are proud and because they are egos. And they are driven by lust and attachment. They are very foolish and they will torture their own body. They will do all kinds of strange things. Demoniac austerities are very, very, very strange. Just like Hiranyakashipu, he was torturing his own body so much that there was only bones left, basically, and there was this live air circulating in between the bones. So it was just like nothing left from him. So this is demoniac. This is really because they want to torture even their own selves, and they want to um, cause pain to the super soul, which is in our body. They can never cause the pain to the super soul, but it's what they imagine to do at least. So these kind of people are very demoniac. Here, we don't really talk about faith in the terms of religion. We're just talking about the mentality, basically. So this is what faith here means, actually. Aharastva pisarvasya tribito bhavati priya yagyastapastata danam tisham pedam imam shrinu. Even the food each person refers is of three kinds, according to the three modes of material nature. The same is true of sacrifices, austerities, and charity. Now here are the distinctions between them. So as I told you, Krishna not only talks about faith, but he now talks about food, for example, because food, even food can be of different kinds, and sacrifice, austerity, and charity. So everything, basically, in this world can be categorized in these three groups. Ayu, Sattva, Balarogya, Sukha, Priti, Vivartana, Rasya, Snikta, Sthira, Hridya, Ahara, Sattvika, Priyaham. For foods dear to those in the mode of goodness increase the duration of life, purify one's existence, and give strength, health, happiness, and satisfaction. Such foods are juicy, fatty, wholesome, and pleasing to the heart. So if you eat something which will make you become healthy, this is sattvic food. This is food in goodness. It will increase your duration of life. See, purify your existence. Give you strength, can give you strength, health, happiness, and satisfaction. See, this is all these wonderful things. And this kind of food is juicy. In other words, how the food should be. It should be juicy, fatty. Fatty doesn't mean it's animalistic fat. No, it means that it's just healthy. I mean, there are healthy fat as well, isn't it? There are like natural, ghee, for example. It's just the best fat um, in the world. So wholesome. Wholesome means it's just nice. It includes everything in itself, basically, and pleasing to the heart. It just really makes you happy and really makes you live longer. It helps you to become healthy. So this is the food we should eat. We should avoid the next food. Katva mla lavana tushna tikshna ruksha vidahina aharara jasasyeshta dukha shokamaya prata. Foods that are too bitter, too sour, salty, hot, pungent, dry, and burning are dear to those in the mode of passion. Such foods cause distress, misery, and disease. Too much chili, too much salt, too much sour, things like that. It makes you passionate, basically. I say, always, I want to eat. It's like it's not. There is no satisfaction, basically. It's just causing you distress, stomach pain, misery, and disease, and so. Yata yamam gatara samputi pur paryushitam chayat duchishtam abhichamityam bhojanam tamasa priyam. Food prepared more than 3 hours before being eaten. Food that is tasteless, decomposed, and putrid, and food consisting of remnants and untouchable things is dear to those in the mode of darkness. It's just decomposed food we are talking about. It's just really bad. I mean, just something uneatable, basically. So, yes, there are some people who eat things like that. They don't think, they don't discriminate, just eat anything. So it's terrible. It says even, food prepared 3 hours before being eaten. So in other words, when you prepare prasadam, you have to offer it immediately. You cannot offer food which is 3 hour old after cooking. So you don't offer it to Krishna. So because it's yeah, it's not proper. Afala kankshiphiryagyo vidhidishto ya ehijete ashtavyam hivati mana samadhyaya sasatvikaha. So, well, about the food, just imagine street foods, um, or many type of foods in the groceries or in bars and in the cafes and things like that. They are not prepared freshly. They are actually stolen, was stored somewhere, like half made. They have to be heated up, so it's not really good actually at all. Of course, sometimes there is nothing else. Well, it's not it's very unfortunate if you are not able to cook for ourselves. So basically, so that's the point. Uh, Srila Prabhupada would say that if you cook for yourself, you'll never become sick. Well, yes, if you are Srila Prabhupada, yes, but I mean the idea is that you have to know how to cook. You have to choose the right ingredients, and you have to um, do it very well with devotion, cook with devotion, with purity, and offer it to Krishna, and then you will never become sick. And then you know your body, you know what kind of food is good for you or not good for you. Well, you're supposed to know at least. So that's why if you do it like this, and if you cook it yourself, so you will be very careful in cooking. That's why you will be yeah, you will be protected by many things from many things, and you will not get sick. That's the idea. So we just read the Sanskrit of this verse. Now I read the translation. All sacrifices, the sacrifice performed according to the directions of Scripture, as a matter of duty by those who desired no reward, is of the nature of goodness. So now you see, now he talks about sacrifice. So it should be according to the directions of the scriptures. So it should be because you have the feeling of duty. You want to do it as a matter of duty, and you should not desire any reward. In other words, you don't do this because you want this in return. So this kind of sacrifice is goodness in the mode of goodness. Abhisandhaya tu phalam tampartham chayvayat ijjate bharata shrestha tam yagyam viti rajasam. But the sacrifice performed for some material benefit or for the sake of pride, the chief of the Bharatas, you should know to be in the mode of passion. So if you do this sacrifice because you want something in return, or because you are proud, so this would be in the mode of passion. So passion means that you always want something in return. Vitihinam srishtanam mantrahinam adakshinam shatha virahitam yagyam tamasam parichakshate. Any sacrifice performed without regard to the directions of scripture, without distribution of prasadam, spiritual food, without chanting of Vedic hymns and remuneration to the priests, and without faith is considered to be in the mode of ignorance. Yeah. So anything done not well in the passion, you can do it according to the scriptures, but you just want something in return. That's the point. But in ignorance, you do things which are not according to the scriptures. You don't follow the scriptures. You just do stupid things, and you don't chant Vedic hymns, holy name, don't distribute prasadam, don't give reward to the priests or brahmanas. So yes, this is the ignorance. Devadvija Guru Pragya Pujanam Shauchamarjavam Brahmacharya Mahimsacha Shariram Tapa Uchete. Austerity of the body, consists in worship of the Supreme Lord, the Brahmanas, the spiritual master, and the superiors like the father and mother, and in cleanliness, simplicity, celibacy, and non-violence. So now he talks about austerity. If you want to be austere, you have to worship the Supreme Lord, the Brahmanas, the spiritual master, then the superiors as well, like father and mother. You have to be clean, simple, celibate, and non-violent. Celibate doesn't mean you should not be married. You can be married, but you should. Marriage is a kind of celibacy as well, actually, because you just don't change partners. So you have your family. That's it. So this would be um, yeah, this would be the right austerity for the body. With the body, you should do these things. Anudvegakaram vakyam satyam priya hitam chayat svatyaya pyasanam chaiva vanmayam tapa uchite. Austerity of speech consists in speaking words that are truthful, pleasing, beneficial, and not agitating to others, and also in regularly reciting Vedic literature. Yes, you have to be truthful, you have to speak truth, you have to you have to speak pleasingly and should be nice. It should bring some benefit to others. You should not harm others. You should be, motivated to help, and you should not agitate others as well. So you should not, if you are agitating, if you're talking, um, and if your talk is disturbing others, that's not good. So, and you should talk about Vedic literature. It doesn't mean you have to always talk about Vedic literature, of course, but because sometimes you have to talk about mundane things as well, because you have to deal with mundane matters as well. So at work, you cannot just talk about, quoting Bhagavad Gita all the time. You cannot do that because you are at work. But you should not talk about nonsense, at least. You should talk about the matters which are related to your work or to the practical situation, and if possible, as far as possible, talk about some Vedic literature or whatever. So, but it shouldn't be just like talking like that. Otherwise, people will think you are crazy. Manaprasada saumyatvam maunam atma vinigraha bhava samshutiritheta tapo manasamuchate. And satisfaction, simplicity, gravity, self-control, and purification of one's existence are the austerities of the mind. So here it doesn't talk about different modes of nature. He talks about what is the austerity of the body, speech, and the mind. So mind, see here, satisfaction. You have to be satisfied. You have to always. You shouldn't feel unhappy all the time. So this is not good at all. You have to be simple. You don't have to make things complicated, because if you make things complicated, you become entangled. So you have to have a simple set of mind in a sense. Mm, Gravity means that you are very serious. I mean, you have depth in yourself. Self-control. So you, with your mind, you control yourself. I mean, you are not getting carried away by all kinds of desires and ideas. And if you're purifying your own existence, there you are performing austerity of the mind. Shataya paraya taptam tapastatri vitam narai apala kangshipir yuktai satvikam parichakshate. This threefold austerity, performed with transcendental faith by men, not expecting material benefits, but engaged only for the sake of the Supreme, is called austerity in goodness. Yes, if you do this, so then you are doing austerity in goodness. Satkara manapujartham tapodampena chaivayat kriyate tadiha vraptam rajasam chalamatruvam. Penance performed out of pride and for the sake of gaining respect, honor, and worship is said to be in the mode of goodness. In the mode of passion. It is neither stable nor permanent. So, if you do things with transcendental faith and don't expect any material benefit, or and doing only for the sake of the supreme, you're doing in the, austerity in the goodness. But if you want to do it for because of pride, for the sake of gaining respect, you see how great I am. Why don't you respect me? You have to respect me, all of you, because I'm so great. So this is passion, of course. Buddha grahena manoyat pidaya kriyate java parasyotsa danartham va tat tamasamudahritam. Penance performed out of foolishness, with torture, or to destroy or injure others is said to be in the mode of ignorance. All these movements of protest, when they want to destroy things, and so this is actually in the mode of ignorance, basically. You want to destroy things, so you are in the mode of ignorance. I'm sorry to say that. You are not like Kshatriya who is fighting with another Kshatriya. This is not at all like that. So that's why I don't like going to protest on the streets and things like that. Especially, yeah, and you can silent protest, whatever, maybe if it's for Krishna's sake, but definitely not to cause trouble. It's not the right thing to do. Tatavyamiti yattanam diyate nupakarine deshe kale chavatrecha tattanam satvikam smritam. Now we talk about charity. Charity given out of duty without expectation of return at a proper time and place and to a worthy person is considered to be in the mode of goodness. So again, out of duty, you do sacrifice, you do austerity, you do charity out of duty. Everything done out of duty without, expecting anything in return is always in the mode of goodness. So this is very um, this is common to all the goodness activities. So it should be also done in the proper time and place. So, for example, we don't do yagyas at night or whatever. So, I mean, you have to find the right moment to do things and right place as well. It should be, you don't, what shall I say? We always try to find some clean place, some nice place, and good time and proper times. So this is really good. Um, but anyway, and the important thing is that to a worthy person, you have to do and now we are talking about charity, of course. You have to give charity to somebody who is worth receiving it. Usually it's like spiritual master and devotees and elevated people and those who will use it for good purposes. So if you give money to those um, who will harm others and do all kinds of strange activities, uh, well, there's one film where somebody, well, I don't want to talk about this film, but I just remember uh, a boy will help. He doesn't know what he's doing because he has no idea. Somebody on the street will tell him, "Oh yeah, please help me because somebody is running after me and save me or something," and he will save him. But he doesn't know that this is actually a thief, and he will kill his uncle. So he didn't know whom he helped. So he helped somebody who just a few moments later killed his uncle. So he didn't know that, of course, but so this is like an example. giving charity to a worthy person. Yastyatu pratyupakarartham phalam uddishyatva puna tiyate cha pariklishtan taddanam rajasam smritam. But charity performed with the expectation of some return or with the desire for fruitful results or in a grudging mood is said to be in charity in the mode of passion. The grudging mood. In other words, okay, I'll give you this money, but I really don't want that. Oh, I hate that. But so so this is charity in the mode of passion. So if you do the charity, you have to do it with the heart, basically, just because you want to help, but not because you want something in return or you don't want to do it when you have to do it in some because of some reason. Adeshakale yatanam padrebhyascha diyate asat avagyatam tattamasam udahritam. And charity performed at an impure place, at an improper time, to unworthy persons or without proper attention and respect is said to be in the mode of ignorance. This is all wrong. This is all wrong. So wrong place, wrong time, impure place, improper time, unworthy people, not paying attention or respect. So this is ignorance. Om tat sat iti nirtesho brahmanas trividha smritaha. Brahmanas tena vedascha yagascha vihita pura. From the beginning of creation, the three words Om Tat Sat were used to indicate the Supreme Absolute Truth. These three symbolic representations were used by Brahmanas while chanting the themes of the Vedas and during sacrifices for the satisfaction of the Supreme. Yes, this Om Tat Sat is just, if you do anything, Om Tat Sat, and you finish it or you start it or both finish and start. So you indicate the Supreme. So this is like very Brahminical thing to do. Having Supreme as keeping Supreme as the aim and goal for everything you do. Tasmad omitu tahritya yagyadanam tapakriyaha pravartante vithanukta satatam brahmavadinam. Therefore, transcendentalists undertaking performances of sacrifice, charity, and penance in accordance with scriptural regulations begin always with Om to attain the Supreme. Om Tad Vishnu Paramam Padam, says Rigveda. Yes, yeah. Om is actually representation of sound representation of Krishna. Om consists of three sounds: A, U, M, Aum, and it says it represents Krishna, Radha, and Jiva. So actually, so Om is very sacred. Um, Srila Prabhupada says when you chant Hare Krishna, Om is included. It's not included as a sound as such, but I mean, it's even more than Om because Hare Krishna Maha Mantra is the best mantra. Tatitana pisandhaya palam yagatava kriya dana kriyascha vivitha kriyante moksha kangshavi. Without desiring fruitful results, one should perform various kinds of sacrifice, penance, and charity with the word tat. The purpose of such transcendental activities is to get free from material entanglement. Yeah, the whole idea here is that this chapter that it teaches us different varieties of action and charity and sacrifice, so that we can discriminate and avoid things in passion and ignorance, and stick to activities in the goodness, and then going even further, which is recommended. The only thing which is recommended is that doing everything for the Supreme, because then you will go to the transcendental platform. Sadbhave satubhave cha satitye cha prayujate prashaste karmani tatha sachabda partha yujate yage tapasidhane cha siti sat iti chochete karma chaiva tadarthiyam saditya vipithiyate. The absolute truth is the objective of devotional sacrifice, and it is indicated by the word sat. The performer of such sacrifice is also called sat, as are all works of sacrifice, penance, and charity, which, true to absolute nature, are performed to please the Supreme Person, the Son of Pritha. Ashadhataya hut ashadhaya hutam datam tapastaptam kritam chayat asadityuchate partha nachatat pretyano iha. Anything done as sacrifice, charity, or penance without faith in the Supreme, the Son of Pritha, is impermanent. It is called asat and is used both in useless in both in this life and the next. Om Tat Sat. Sat means supreme, as well as devotee, as well as everything done for the pleasure of the Supreme. Om Tat Sat. Om, indicates the Supreme. Tat, well, Om Tat Sat is just this expression means, I offer everything to the Supreme. I do this for the pleasure of the Supreme, and I don't want anything in return. Yes, Hare Krishna. So we shouldn't do anything which is asat, which is impermanent, which is against the scriptural injunctions. So we have to. Sat is translated as well in different, it has different meanings, but sat means also truth. So we have to stick to truth. The truth is that Krishna is the supreme. So if you stick to this principle and avoid everything asat, which is against this, so we'll be fine. Thank you very much for your attention. So I would like to hear if you have any questions or comments.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, you mentioned about austerities and the different levels at which austerities are performed. Even if someone is performing austerities with any other motives, does that not give them strength in terms of resilience, more willpower?
Yes, but power doesn't necessarily means you are elevated by that. It can be you can become powerful demonic in demoniac sense or materially. So you can the whole idea is that anything we do, anything we have to perform, these things have to purify us and make us happier and closer to Krishna. So yes, you will become strong, definitely, and resilient, to determine and things like that. But you're heading in the wrong direction. It depends what you do, isn't it? So if you want to become strong because you want to become so powerful, you want to control the whole country, whatever, a group of people, I don't know. Use it to control others, to harm others, to exploit others. So what's the use of such resilience?
So I'm referring to things like, the Chaturmasya fasting that we do. So every month is a
Chaturmasya
different.
is something else. If you want to be, yeah, this is different. This is you want to do Chaturmasya because you want to become pure, and you know that this is according to the scriptures. You see, these are well, everything you do which is in accordance with scriptural injunctions, which is Chaturmasya as well, isn't it? It's a very devotional thing because the whole idea of Chaturmasya is to remember Krishna and think about his pastimes and yes, this is totally different. This is transcendental. This is nice. But if you don't if you do like austerity, which is aimed to I want to become the world champion. I don't know, stupid maybe, stupid example, but I want to do this kind of austerity because I want to conquer my enemies and I want to become the dictator, whatever. So this is not good. Chaturmasi is wonderful.
Okay. But even when we perform things like that, sometimes we're doing it because we know it's good for us. But is it really purifying? Because I know that when I'm fasting for a month away from milk, all I'm thinking about is milk. You know?
Yeah, I know, I know. Yeah. Well, yes. Well, what shall I say? I mean, I'm follower of Srila Prabhupada because Srila Prabhupada gives me the right understanding of the scripture as well. He never really say, well, what shall I say? Yes, but still, maybe anyway good, because what shall I say? Maybe at one point you want to think about milk. This is just an example, I don't know. But yes, sometimes, you know, you do the austerity, but you don't like it really. But you do it because it is said, somebody told you to do that, and you know this is good. So you don't get the same result, I would say. Same result, good result comes when you do it consciously and you like it, and you know this is purifying. Um, I really had often hard time during Ekadashi fasting and things like that. But now I really like it because I just enjoy it and because uh, this helps me to. This is easier to. It's easy actually to think about Krishna when I fast during the Ekadashi. I don't do full fasting. I'm not doing that. But it's not so difficult actually. Just a state of mind. You have to change something in your mentality, and you will feel it. It's actually not so bad. So you just change the attention, and you just chant Hare Krishna. You read books, and time will just go very pleasingly. So you don't have to struggle so much. In the beginning, we always struggle when we do the austerity, but at one point you understand how, and you do the right austerities as well. I mean, that's important. You shouldn't do austerity which is not helping spiritually. Yeah, it's a matter of maturity, I would say.
Thank you, Prabhu.
You're welcome.
Nandaprya Prabhu.
Yes.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for your wonderful lecture. I want to ask a question if it's possible.
Yeah.
So, so my question is that when we say a faith, what do we mean? Because you said that's, you know, uh, that's an view of the world, or how you described it.
Yes. Well, this is maybe my interpretation. I don't know because sometimes the words Shatha, I think it's, I don't remember the name in Sanskrit of this chapter, but I think it's Shraddha, meaning faith. Um, but I mean, it doesn't mean like, in Christian countries we are used to mean faith is like you have to believing in something, but here is like your conceptions of life, uh, the whole mentality. I mean, whole thing. Um, I don't know. It's not so easy to understand actually, but I mean, in this chapter, Krishna talks about faith only in three or four shlokas. Then he talks about food and charity and sacrifice and austerity of the mind and body and speech and so on. See, it's just a whole thing because whatever your faith is, whatever you believe, you think is right for you, you will do austerities and charities and everything accordingly.
I understand. And
Yeah, it's just I think it's difficult. Yeah.
so it's the whole, how to say, some kind of a complex, no, not complex, but
Yes, like a package of
one
everything. I
big
mean,
understanding. Yeah.
yeah, something like that. Yeah.
So another question is that what Arjuna asked actually, that also Krishna Mataji asked that what about the actions which is performed by sometimes devotees, even myself, not to speak of others, myself, performing, for example, something in an ordinary life, uh, performing something and thinking that that's from Krishna, or oh, that's sent by Krishna and let me do it, or let me, a view of some things in our life as it is from Krishna, like thinking like this, um, is it right thing to do, or it's sometimes that it is not like that, but we are thinking that that's from Krishna, but actually it's not. So
Yeah.
that's a kind of faith which by actions we are performing something that's, we are thinking that that's from Krishna, so why don't I do it?
Maybe
Or
it is from Krishna too. You
yeah,
never know.
yeah,
Krishna can tell you from the heart, for example,
yeah,
do this or do this, and but you will find out later. I don't know. It's hard to say. Krishna is not only in the scriptures; he is in our hearts as well. So he can easily, give us some kind of indication or even dictate some. You have to actually. Everyone should develop this kind of intuition, whatever you may call it, intuition, or um, it, it's not forbidden. It's not against the scripture. You have to learn how to listen to the Paramatma, uh, but you shouldn't become crazy. Of course, you should be sane. So, well, sometimes you know the answer, but you don't. Krishna tells you from the heart, but you don't listen. So yes, Krishna can tell us. It's a part of. So you should be very. You should not base big decisions. Base big decisions on. Oh, Krishna told me this in the heart. You may be wrong, of course. I mean, very important big decisions, but what shall I say? Yeah, we have. It requires a lot of intelligence to understand all these things.
yes, because sometimes, for example, you say something, but your spiritual master do not confirm because, and you thought that, oh, it was
Yeah.
from the heart. I did it from the heart, but actually, spiritual master do not approves that. We see, for example, Arjuna's example also, but he was telling from his heart something, but it was not approved by Krishna. So
Yes. Yes.
my point is that a lot of the times we are not, we are wrongly thinking that it's from Krishna. So yeah, that was my point.
So, in other words, if so, as long as we are not, as long as we are not advanced enough to understand these things, we have to ask more advanced people for a good advice. Um, and but we have to develop ourselves. At one point, we can get directions also. It takes long time to get there, of course, but You know what Krishna tells us in the 10th chapter. Do you remember? For those who are constantly engaged with devotion with me, I give them knowledge by which they can come to me. So we have to develop this kind of, you know, Krishna will enlighten us from within, but only if you are constantly thinking about him. So this is important thing. So
Yeah.
it takes advancement. So it will come at one point. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
So,
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. All right, I think we are getting there, and then we actually only have 18th chapter left. So I think it's a wonderful thing we have achieved. So yeah, now we have Bhagavad Gita in English. Anybody can listen to it if they like
Yeah.
to. Yes. Thank
Thank
you.
you, Nandaprya Prabhu.
Thank
And
you.
what will be your suggestion? Will it be 2 lectures for 18th chapter like we planned, or?
Yeah, I think it's better to doing it in two parts because
Yeah.
yeah, because it's like 78 or 8 verses, I think, in 18 chapters. So it's like we divided the second chapter in two. So I think it should be
Yeah.
like that. So,
Okay. Hare
all
Krishna
right,
then.
take care.
Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna, Hare
Thank you everyone for
Bolo, Hare
joining.
Krishna,
Nandaprya Prabhu ki
Hare
jai.
Krishna, Hare Krishna.